sir. What up, everybody? Had to do some moving around. What up? Y'all know what time it is. Hot Mike Friday. What's up, everybody out there in the chat? Everybody out there on the back street, y'all know what time it is. Hey, don't forget to participate in that poll. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way in. Let me give my quick shout outs right quick to my man, the Mad Doctor out there in the house. What up, fam? Self-made Kennels, I see you, fam. Melee suspect Kennels, I see you, fam. Big shout out to Mancho Buck 793. What up, fam? Big shout out to Mr. William McNeil. I see you, fam. My man Hart and Finney's Kennels representing in the Shark Tank. What up, fam? Mr. Sam Hobbs in the house. What up, fam? Big shout out to my man Hockey Lee in the house. What up, fam? In the woods, 456 in the house. What up, fam? My main man Kobayashi in the house. What up, fam? The one and only, the incomparable, my man, Win Munes in the hills. What up, fam? Hey, fellas, again, appreciate everybody for showing up tonight. Y'all know this is, Hot Mike Friday. So, I try to save some of the controversial conversations for the Friday. And I don't know, depending on how the chat act tonight. I want to give a big shout out to my man, Rick, all the time. What up, fam? You see, did I have my man Self-Made Kennels up in there? Yeah, he was up in there early. Yeah, conversation tonight. Kind of funny kind of type of conversation. At least for me, anyway. I know it's going to be tripped out when most see it, too. But I see it. A lot of the sharks out here, that kind of know what we talk about. There's no secret that we talk about the past. Our past, was one of them fun pasts, and unlike others, we participated in what we considered the fast lane. But keeping that thought in mind, I always tell y'all we don't ever talk about the now. Because for the now for me, is still basically always going to be based upon the basement, the dark side. So because in the dark is where it needed to be, in the dark is where it should stay. It has no reason to shine the light on what goes in the dark. That's why we don't talk about it. We can't tell you who, what, when, where, nothing. But I also support, I try to support everybody. When it comes down to these American Pit Bull Terriers. Because everybody, not everybody, but some are taking it more like they're going to change the game. Okay, and I hear that, but what makes me speak on it? This is what makes me speak on it. When I hear people say, damn the old. Now we're going to bring some new light to this. I'm trying to understand, okay, how you going to damn the old, but you shining the light on the new, but in the same breath, every time I see a pedigree pop up, I hear all the old names. I hear the same old phrases off Grand Champion or Champion so-and-so. So I understand, how can you say that you're going to make a change, but you're still using the past, as a reference point to make that change. Now, I'm still waiting to see what that change looks like. For me, all I can see is change is nothing more than selling dogs. That's what I see change being. The old is only going to be considered when it's useful to sell dogs. And this is where I find fault in that at. Because even though we weren't a kennel that sold dogs, or we didn't sell dogs, and puppies were most of the time given away, to people that we knew was going to take care of them and do the right thing. Dogs that didn't make it on the yard, they were basically given away. Our Proteges, and big shout out to them. I'm gonna come back and deal with that one too. But being that we never got into that part of the game, our dogs still were able to get in the right hands, and people still do the right things, and they made a name for themselves. But even for them, they were going hard dogs. They made going hard dogs their dogs, but they stuck with the going hard, name. As far as those were going hard dogs. And they kept it up, and they kind of did exactly what we did, and they made better dogs. Well, actually, I feel they did better than us. But they weren't into selling dogs either. See, they learned to stay private like we were private. So that's why you didn't have a bunch of our dogs out running around. That's why you always see these certain breedings, and they were always good, because those dogs, they did something, so that's why people talked about them. But you never hear about the ones that they didn't keep. You never hear about the ones that didn't make it on the yard. You only hear about the ones that actually done something. How did you hear about them? Because there's performance, whether it was through the breeding or their accolades and their performance. That's what carried the name. That's what carried the dog. That's what carried the kennel. So, when you're talking about changing that up, I can't see how you can say, forget about this. We're going to shine a new light on this. But you're not trying to show me what you're trying to shine a new light on, because you're still going back to this. And when I hear people talk about that change, gonna find another way of doing these dogs, but in the same process, only change I see in is selling of dogs. See that all over Facebook. See it even here on YouTube. I'm wondering, okay, being a dog man myself, being a person who knows how to rebred dogs, we bred dogs for a purpose. You already know what our purpose was. But now when you breed dogs and you're making a change, it can't be the same purpose of the past. So now the purpose has changed. But what's the purpose? If it's not but to sell dogs. So you can't forget about the past and use the past to sell dogs. because you're not really forgetting about the past. And got to remember, I'm still part of the past. And in the past, we bred dogs for a purpose. At least I can say we bred dogs for a purpose. So when you say forget about the past, makes me ask, so you're still using the same names of the past, but what's your purpose? See, it's that purpose that gets me back to looking at the action. Your actions aren't like our actions. Our purpose had action to it. Y'all know what our action was. We bred dogs for the purpose of dog fighting. I'm just put it out there. That was the past. If you're changing something, you can't be breeding dogs for the purpose of dog fighting. Understandable. So get me to understand the purpose. See, that's something I haven't been seeing. I'm hearing a whole lot of this, what we like we were bad guys or anything. But you're still using champions, grand champions, ROMs, off of Red Boy, off of Jeep, off of this dog, off of that dog. You look at the dog and see what all the hype's about, well, that dog was ROM, that dog created this. All that still puts you back in where I'm from. And still, that takes me back to where that purpose was. But you can't use that as a purpose now when you start talking about change. Which leads me back to the purpose. And the purpose can't be for nothing but to sell dogs. And that's where I get confused at. I get real confused. Because at that point, how are you making the game better? How are you going to make the game better? With no purpose. We all can breed dogs. Anybody can breed a dog. If I really wanted to set this game on fire, really set this game on fire, really, I would go back and get my protege. And I don't know if he's in the room now, but for those who don't know, Scratchline News and his brother were our proteges. Not everybody got their hands on our dogs. But Scratchline and his brother, and you heard me mention Jamie Long, and maybe one or two other people outside of my son got our dogs. And they kept doing and breeding these dogs. Now, Maytu, and I'm just using him as an example. Maytu is out of a breed of brat bred back to her father. Brat bred back to her father. Created Maytu. Now you see Maytu in a lot of these dogs that we be running down through these papers. A lot of them champions. You're going to find him in there somewhere. All down to that cool buck stuff. He's going to be there. Now, he has straws. But you don't see none of his straws jumping around here. None that ever came off of him out here. Nothing. But trust me when I say there's straws on Maytu. If they would have ever decided to use those straws, that would still be, to me, the baddest bread Mayday creation to this day. Unless somebody can show me something different. You know what I mean? And it's just a matter of what they put with it. But when you deal with us, and you've been private for so long that it would be hard to even see yourself getting into that when you have something so valuable. And the good thing about them, what I love about them is you don't see them straws being used because there is no purpose. They might be able to sit back on them straws like they have done all these years, and this game might take a change, and y'all still might be on that same old attitude, and then they can come in and just bust the doors wide open when they start using them straws. Because it's evident what they're going to get. It's already been a proven fact that May2 could produce. They could get down up in there and have the best bread Mayday shit on this planet. Because you're not going to be able to find too much Mayday bread back to his daughter and have the semen right there. You can't get no closer to that. If I remember correctly, that would put Mayday in his second generation if he ever decided to drop them straws. The second generation. And then you gotta, when you start going back, you gotta remember where Brat came from. And then Brat back to her daddy. You can't get no more Mayday than that. And then you still got that little Angus following right along. No, it's really Charlie, but we know in our eyes, we always felt it was Angus. But for them to even want to do that, it would have to be a purpose. And I think that purpose, hasn't been in 20 plus years because they still sitting on those straws. But to me, I know they could blow the door off the game if they wanted to just jump out there and just go ahead and just start dropping puppies. And I could just imagine how many people would start buying dogs. Why? Because Mayday's in the second and the third generation. Would that be enough to make people move? Because that would actually really be the best Mayday shit possibly in the world. But right now, there is no purpose. So when I see people using the names, and then, talk about this change and forget old school, times have changed. Changed to what? That's what I'm waiting on. Change to what? Papers ain't never made a dog. The dog always made the papers. See, I ain't never been, consider ourselves as breeders. I always gonna look at the breeder part of it like a breeder wasn't shit without us. Now all of a sudden the breeder's supposed to be the shit based on what? What you standing on? The papers? Is that what's selling dogs now? Is that what the change? The new thing's supposed to be? That's supposed to be the change that we all supposed to be impressed about? Because that's the part I'm waiting on. Because I look at it like this. I think the dog's name was Marisol. You know, I heard Buck City had one on his show, and I think she climbed 10 feet. How many pit bulls y'all know can do that? Climb up a wall like that. But is she enough to change the game? Is she enough? She might be like the new start of a whole new thing. But can she produce other dogs to climb the wall like she did? And can you train her to climb that wall like her owner did? See, when y'all start talking about change, see, there's a whole lot to go into change now. And I'm going to speak on it simply because I'm also a dog trainer. I understand what it takes to get a dog to do certain things. You know what I mean? You're going to work harder in your change than what we did when we were breeding for a purpose. And why is that? Let me explain to you why that is. What was the reason the American Pit Bull was created for anyway? Was actually bred as a fighting dog. That was what was part of their genetics. That was their makeup. That's what they were trying to improve over the many years and decades and century of doing these with these dogs. So it's already built in them. You know, I've heard people say we train dogs to fight. I don't know where that came from. Unlike other dogs, I never had a pit bull that I ever seen us have to train to fight. You know, sometimes we had to, by 3 months old, our puppies were on chains. They couldn't stay together. Now imagine that. I'm not training these puppies to act like this. They doing this on their own. And if I leave them in there, there's going to be a problem. Because still, dogs are pack animals, and as they get older, you know, one, you know, jump on one. Y'all know what these litters look like. One jump on one, and everybody else get in. I mean, you know, and then all of a sudden, you got problems. So we used to always take the bully of the bunch, and he'd be the first, and that's how we start getting them, you know, separating to prevent from things happening. But we're not training them to do that. We're preventing them from doing that. Because what's already in them. That's a whole lot different than having to have a litter and all of them gonna run and they're gonna all run up that wall. Or they're gonna get on that weight, you know, put all that weight on them and they're gonna just take off and become the baddest weight pulling dog in the world. Or the fastest treadmilling dog in the world. Or the best built pit bull of all times. When do you look at that and say, okay, they wasn't bred for that purpose? But then that you're going to change the game. When you do it like this, then, you know, Marcel, the dog that runs up the damn wall, she might be the start. She might be that one to be like, well, can you breed her And will she become popular because she have her offsprings can run up the wall? Anybody who has a pit bull that runs up walls or weight pools, and I use those two things because those two things take some type of knowledge of training. Some type of knowledge of training. And in the process of doing that, your competition level has to be phenomenal to be worthy of getting out there and taking on the world. See, back in our day, all we needed was a dog, a good conditioning program, and somebody else to stand over there in that corner. See, that's all we needed back then. We can go anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, and I determined for that night, for that day, for that moment, who had the better dog. But when you talk about changing from that, because that basically was the purpose. I don't know, I mean, some of y'all might can't stand to hear that, but then why don't you just accept it, the fact that y'all don't know what that part of life looked like because you never were a part of it. If you never was a part of it, there's so much that you really don't understand about the American Pit Bull Terrier. You really don't understand the dog. Because being in it as long as I have and seeing as much as I've seen, I have every reason to respect that dog and the things that them dogs can do, the things and the level of intensity, the level of just bulldog. I understand what that really, truly looked like. But if you ain't never done it, you have no idea. You can't. If you ain't never held one between your legs, you ever held one just after a win? What you have to do to save them or put them back together and bring them back to just being normal. Because they're not the same dog after the fact. You have to take care of them. You got to bring them and nurture them back. If you don't understand what that looks like, you have no idea what it really was to have an American Pit Bull game dog. But we're taking the same type of dog that was bred for this purpose, and then you're going to talk to me about change. And then tell me about what it takes to love these dogs. You can love the damn dog, but then the dog is what it is. It's still an American Pit Bull Terrier. What made these dogs different from the next dog? Well, look at your pedigrees. Why do you go back and you still look at Stompanato and Oso Negro and all the way back to Snooty, all the way back to Bully Son, all the way back to Eli, all the way back to Kobe, Crenshaw? Why do y'all go back there and talk about them type of dogs and then still be using the word change in the same conversation? Changing what? Because you can't change something that was bred for a certain purpose. So I know you ain't talking about changing the dog. Now, you can change the look of the dog because, again, you really don't understand the type of dog I'm talking about here. You can't because you ain't never did it. You ain't never put one between your legs. You ain't never put one in shape. You ain't never put one on the scale. You ain't never washed one. I mean, I don't say this for everybody because, again, I'm only talking about the people who can sit back and say, change. You're talking about changing an American Pit Bull Terrier. How do you do that? And see, when I hear that now, I keep telling you, I think it's, I'm looking at it, and the change is, there really is no change. It's all about selling dogs. Now, if y'all know dogs like I know, and dogs like I know, not everybody made that team. When I talk about made the team, you know what I'm talking about. Not everything out of the litter made it. So all the things that the ones distinct about, all the ones that didn't make it, that we don't talk about. Nobody talks about them. But it's easy to talk about them now. When you talk about some of y'all breedings, when I see you, that's the litter mate sister to so and so and all that, but there's nothing there to. And so what's supposed to be the big deal? What's supposed to be the height? I'm trying to figure that out. Because again, it don't make sense to talk about fuck the past and spit all over that, but only use it to your advantage when it comes to talking about the now, because you got to get some puppies off. Now, we all know Tom Garner has been doing this for many years. Tom actually goes out and he buys back dogs. Now, why does he go back out and buy dogs back with titles? Why do you think he does that? Because Tom is a dog man. Tom collects his own sperm, y'all. Yeah. Tom got Frisco straws. Probably still got a couple Chinaman straws. Got a couple Spike straws still left. That's just like me talking about Maytu. Having Maytu straws. He got that good shit. Now, you think you just gonna waste them kind of straws on just anything? Tom don't need to use them damn straws to sell no damn dogs. I truly believe when Tom decided to use the straws he do, he will put them dogs in the right hands, and when the time comes, he gonna go buy them dogs back like he has done over the years. And he gonna keep producing great dogs off of titled dogs. Them the ones you're gonna spend a little bit more for. He got different prices down there. So how is he being able to sell dogs at different prices? What's the difference? Common sense should tell you that. The quality of the dogs. Even him. After all these years, he still sticks to the same regular game plan. He understands what the quality of the dog actually means. He depends on that night vision. You can get this shit right here for $1,500, but you want to get this right here, it's gonna cost you a little bit more. And you want this shit right here, it's gonna cost you a lot more. Cause this shit right here, right off of Frisco. This shit right here, this is Spike. If you have any doubt, you can get the DNA test. Tom ain't no joke when it comes to this shit. I'll talk that shit you want. But you really wanted to go spend some money on some good shit. Why wouldn't you take chances with the Frisco straws? Why wouldn't you take chances with the Chinaman straws? Why wouldn't you take chances with the Spike straws if you know the man got them? Because you ain't going to do shit with it. You ain't going to do shit with it.
People that actually go and he look for are the dogs that are making a name.
You know what I mean? Remember, he went back and bought NASCAR. It's been a healthy piece of change for him. I ain't the only one he went and bought. El Tetra. He went and bought all of them back. Them dogs pay for themselves. Guarantee you he got his money back and some. But they were titled dogs. But y'all all of a sudden trying to convince me that y'all, y'all not Tom Garner. You're not. Because even he got to go put his night visions on and try to get back what he need back on his yard. He can do the 1500 all day. I can't do this shit right here. I need that good shit back over here. That's that high-end shit. Only certain people are entitled to have that. But then he's in a class of himself. Let me run back over here where I was talking about the other ones. Just talking about change. And I'm trying to figure out for what purpose. What's the purpose?
Using mat dogs to say shit.
You're using mass dogs, man. They can't. I've heard him say it. We old school. We finna show a whole new game. Then I see all these damn pedigrees popping up all over the damn place, and I'm still seeing the same dogs from the past. And you living off the titles of these dogs. But we already know dogs don't, just because a dog is off of so-and-so don't mean that dog is supposed to be about shit. That don't mean shit. Understand this, fellas. Papers don't mean shit. Dogs make the papers. Now, I don't know who y'all be fooling when y'all come to saying that, because that's the new narrative now. It's supposed to work. But that shit don't really work for everybody. And there's a whole lot more people like me still out here living. And we might not say nothing, but being I got a platform, I'm gonna say something, because you know what? Twin know what it feel like to hold a motherfucker between his legs. Twin know what it feel like to have a champion. Twin know what it feel like to have a yard full of match dogs. Twin know what it feel like to stand in the box. Twin know what it feels like to win. Twin know what it feel like to breed up some good ass dogs and make a name for it, and they ain't scared to go nowhere with them. See, Twin know what that felt like. So if Twin know what it felt like and know that part of the game, then you really can't tell Twin too much about what a goddamn game American Pit Bull Terrier is supposed to be like. So I am one of them people that I can sit back and say, what makes this dog so, what's supposed to make this dog so good? Because it's bred like that. Because it's bred like that don't mean shit. What about the dog? You know what I mean? I want to know about the damn dog. That hide don't mean shit. That hide ain't nothing. Hell, I show you a whole bunch of videos out here with dogs working the hide. Actually, be 4-5 of them on the same damn hide or the same damn rope. I see that. But I also know too, Twin done had dogs. So is this anything impressive to me? No. It's not impressive to me. I am still dealing with the fact of fuck the old shit. I'm dealing with the fact that we gonna fuck that shit and we gonna do some new shit. And I'm trying to understand, how do you take a dog that was bred for a purpose and tell me that you fixing to create some new shit? And anybody out here that's in the sound of my voice, please help me understand what that means. What do you mean create new shit? I'm trying to understand that.
Still trying to sneak papers up.
And you still trying to add prestige, that CH, that ROM, that GH, that GR still means something when you selling dogs now? Where's the new coming from? Or is everybody trying to be the new Tom Garner? See, Tom got years of doing this. Because most of the dogs that he buys back is dogs that he basically, you're going to find his shit all in them. So he knows when it's out there and what it takes to get it back. A lot of y'all ain't never been in that position to understand, you know, what is actually going on and how he was able to do that. You just can't go out and keep breeding pit bulls and all of a sudden you're supposed to have a yard full of champions and grand champions because of what?
I really think 10% of Tom's dogs are come back great.
Well, I don't think they make, but he's.
Yeah, I mean the numbers. He just goes out there and grabs the ones that do.
Well, you can have this in a minute because you can put that out there. But right now, I'm doing the chewing. I listen to the shit. I'm trying to figure out when I'm dealing with this fuck us type of situation. Because again, I'm not in the now, and I've already made it clear. We don't fit in the now. That's why we don't talk about the now. We don't deal with the now. We'll support you on anything that you do in the now. But one thing you can't not do, and you will not get my respect by saying fuck that situation, but turn right around and use those dogs, those names in those papers to talk about change when you're still basing it off of the same shit that you're talking about saying fuck to. Because you ain't creating nothing new. There's no stability in nothing that a lot of y'all out there doing in them breedings. What's supposed to make your shit so great? The way it act on the chain? The way it worked to hide? I mean, what is it that would make you think that your shit was worthy of even a conversation and ain't never had a tooth on it? Ain't never been up a wall. Ain't never been in a confirmation show. Ain't never done nothing but sit on the chain and you feed it. And you be ready to argue and talk shit. See, that's why I get lost at. See, I'm not from that type of world. Remember, I'm from that other world. Now, in that other world, I don't have to talk shit. All you got to do is go get a dog. We take care of all of that shit. See, y'all ain't from where I'm from. Y'all have no idea about that because you wouldn't talk that shit and not have a dog that you feeding. And I got one. Oh, I tell you, you had a piece of shit. And you tell me I got a piece of shit. At least we have room to negotiate while we can settle that quickly. All you got to do is give me the weight. We'll set up a time and date. And we can get all them questions answered. See, that's the era I'm from. That's the part where y'all talk about fuck that. Because you can't talk about that now. So you're going to come up with a new narrative. You're going to talk game for your shit. That shit don't work. That's like you're gonna beat my ass and you ain't swung through one punch. Ain't through one punch, but you steady thinking you can whoop my ass. That don't make sense to me. I prefer you say it and then at least swing. You know, at least that puts me back in my time. Or because at least you did something. We can get to an end, at least something happening. But just talking about it and arguing about it, that's not the change that's going to make the American Pit Bull Terrier better. I don't see what that looks like moving forward. I'm taking it that maybe the Marisol dog that ran up the wall, maybe she's a good start because, again, that's a dog doing something that not every pit bull can do. How many of y'all got one of them on your yard that can do that? You know what I mean? How many in your yard can you take off the chain, walk up to that wall, and let them go, and they're going to take off and run up that wall? How many of y'all got that out there? Let me look in the chat. Let me see. Anybody, I'm giving you a little bit of time to catch up, because I just want to know.
What they got to do with the dog being game?
No, we ain't even got to the game shit yet. I'm going to let you deal with that. I'm still trying to figure out why you saying fuck us. See, I'm going to let Mo get on the other shit. I'm just trying to understand, how can you say fuck OG in them? I'm trying to figure that out, because when you say shit like that, I get kind of lost. Because I'm still watching you say shit like that, but then I'm still looking at paperwork. And to me, that paperwork don't mean nothing, but it's just trash. Because what are you talking about? What are you basing this on? What in the hell can you sit there and say fuck us, but then throw up pedigrees? And what am I supposed to be seeing? Where are the merits at? Why does it? Because it's off of champion so and so and all that other shit. I mean, and then, changing the colors don't change shit for us. You already know how we feel about pedigrees and changing colors. That's just a disguise. For all you young motherfuckers, I know y'all out there, and I've heard many motherfuckers out there talk about they don't understand papers. They don't really know papers. So, in other words, I already know you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So maybe the pleasure comes in when a motherfucker sit there and just talk like they know what they're talking about. But then again, people like me know better. And this wouldn't be a conversation if I didn't have to hear the other bullshit that I listen to. Because I want to understand now, if it's easy to say fuck us, and I'm watching what you're doing, at what point are you going to start talking about how you plan on changing the goddamn game? Being that you're using dogs that was bred for a certain purpose. Papers don't make the dog make the papers. Just a dog out there, just another dog to me. So what part of the game are you changing, except for the fact that you can talk about dogs to sell dogs? To me, that's okay if that's what you want to do. I don't have a problem with people who just want to sell dogs. And if that is a great selling point because it's bred like this and it's bred like that, that's okay too. When you say fuck us, I'm kind of looking at that shit like I take that shit personal. I mean, because now I got to expose you. You can't say fuck us and at the same time talk about the dogs from the past that basically did what we did, but you ain't really saying fuck us. You just using that as an excuse because you ain't never done what we done. So you can't really say fuck us. Because without us, you wouldn't have shit to talk about anyway. So understanding that, why do you feel like you have something to talk about now, being that you ain't never done it any damn way? I mean, what is that to argue about? What is that to get mad about? It's okay. I own the fact that we ain't no breeders. We bred our own shit, but we never put ourselves in that claim to fame that we was breeders. I'm gonna give a big shout out to my man Y Kobayashi coming in with a 5-piece. He said, my shit like to get it there and work the whole hide. Y Kobayashi, I feel you, fam. Appreciate the love. And if anybody want to say something, you get my attention, all you got to do is hit that super chat. And I ain't had a chance to get over there and put the number up. If you wanted to weigh in, if you wanted to have that conversation with me to get me to understand about moving forward and what it looks like. Because to me, moving forward means you got to change a whole lot of shit. It ain't easy to train a dog to run up a wall. You just can't go walk out on your chain and grab your dog and set it in front of that wall and put his best toy up there and then think he's going to run up 10 feet. I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? That's like back in the day for, police, the military used to have a bunch of German Shepherds. German Shepherds was the dog of the time then. But all of a sudden, they had to make a change. They wanted to go from German Shepherds, now we're just going we're going to use these Malinois. Why you think that's a change? There is a big change from a German Shepherd to a Malinois. Why did they change? Because that Malinois could do more than what that German Shepherd could do. Malinois got some Shepherd in them. I mean, you look at the history of what makes the Malinois. But that Malinois is different than that German Shepherd. They don't look alike. They're different. That Malinois ain't as big. He's more athletic. You understand? To me, that's when you do change for a purpose. That's a change for a purpose based on the job that is meant to do. I have yet to see that change for a pit bull that I was even comfortable with, all the way down to guard training one. Because the Malinois, he's trained for that job. German Shepherd trained for that job. Wild trained for that job. And that list goes on and on and on. But why ain't the police department or the Army or Marines using pit bulls as guard dogs? It's got to be a reason. It's got to be a reason. I'm going to tell you what that reason is. That reason has always been the obvious. The Marine Corps has had a pit bull to represent who we are. Now, as a Marine, you kind of know what we are. We are killing machines. We are trained killers. They train us to put us in the mindset of a bulldog. We use that slang now. Boy, he was on his ass like a pit bull. Locked on his ass and wouldn't let him go. That's the nature of the American Pit Bull Terrier. It's the folklore of the dog. But y'all gonna say, fuck that, and it's gonna be a change? I'm still trying to understand and see what that change looks like. What's the direction of where that change is going to go? When you're dealing with something that was bred for a purpose, and as long as that purpose is in that breed, for it to be a real American Pit Bull Terrier, it's going to have the real American Pit Bull Terrier gene pool and traits, which means, I'm trying to get that understanding of, hey, wait a minute, we just slow down here because it ain't cool to talk down on people like us, my mentors, my peoples, and make it seem like all of a sudden we got a new sheriff in town. I hear a whole lot of people talk about change. I'm still waiting to see what it look like. I don't understand how you can just act like that part of the history can just disappear because you can't make it even disappear because you use it too much. You need it just to be able to survive with the dogs that y'all have.
Oh, I'm just taking my shit. It's gonna be fucking dog in the back. It's my dog now.
Right, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
trying to
right.
figure out.
It's dog.
I'm just saying. You can't.
What that mean?
I ain't from that era that I can talk for the dog. I'm from that era that my dog do my talking. All that bullshit y'all be talking about, all my dog, that shit don't mean nothing to people like me.
Nothing.
Nothing. People from my era don't want to hear that shit. People in the dark don't want to hear that shit. Y'all just keep doing what y'all doing. That's what everybody say. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. But see, I ain't doing that no more. But I can sit up here now and I can talk shit. Cause I know talking shit like that, you ain't never had nothing between your legs. You don't know nothing about what it actually takes to get one to even deal with somebody like me. Because if it was anything I come from the world I come from, the last thing you would be wanting to do is talk shit with a bulldog. Mm-mm. Because I ain't trying to run up no trees, run no treadmills, or pull no damn weights, or go out here and try to muscle up and look like I'm big and tough. You know what I mean? You know, I ain't into all that. So when you talk like that, it's almost like you're inviting me into your world. When you're inviting me into your world, I'm not coming into your world talking shit. I'm not. I'm going to tell you, take that collar off that piece of shit and let it go. Let it go. Keep your eyes on the prize. Don't talk about it. Be about it. How long have y'all heard us saying this? It's been a while. It's almost cliche talk for us. S2W, scratch the win. Going hard Kennels. We make it good and clear who and what we did. And then everybody that we talked about in our past, all our proteges, all our friends, that whole big game that we had the pleasure of being a part of. That's what we talk about. So when I hear these things like, fuck that, but everybody's out here with American Pit Bull Terriers. Fuck that, we're going to change the game. But I ain't seeing how the game is being changed. But what I am starting to see is everybody selling dogs. Well, who can you possibly be selling dogs to? Because dog men like me, I wouldn't buy that shit. There's a reason why I wouldn't buy that shit. Because like I said, there is a reason why I wouldn't buy that shit because, like I say, dogs make the papers. The paper don't make the dog. I be meaning that. I might say I have good dogs. Even now, I can tell you I got good dogs. But you'll never know how good my dogs is. You'll never know how good they are. Unless you really wanted to know how good they are. And that's on the real. But I'm not going to sit there and just act like I got a goddamn barnstormer or go put your shit down and say it ain't shit or talk about your dog. Because you ain't in that life like I was. You ain't a part of that life. Y'all in another new world. I mean, y'all on something else. But I'm just waiting for what that change is supposed to look like. When y'all gonna start running up some walls? When y'all gonna get together to create some shit where you can make them up some walls? You know, imagine if y'all could get, we got a grand champion treadmill racer, grand champion somebody a grand champion weight pool. Oh, champion confirmation. How about talking about what those papers gonna look like? This is Marcel, champion. Ran up the wall 10 feet. Best wall climber in the game. How about that? Her papers ain't gonna need no help from how it was bred. Everything gonna start right there at that dog right there that could climb that wall. Or that pit bull who pulled that big ass weight to that point at a certain time. That is a strong ass dog. That ain't no dog out here stronger than that dog right there. That's a start right there. Competition is that set the mark high. The competition, you got to beat that dog to climb up. You got to get over 11 feet to beat that dog. You got to get in and pull a lot of down weight to beat that dog. How many of y'all think y'all can be able to do that? Because the game I came from, there's a whole lot of people out there trying to do what I was doing. But that's a whole different type of competition. Look what the kind of competition it takes to do what they doing over here. To me, that's the right way of doing some shit. But how many of y'all are out there actually doing that shit? What is you out there buying shit that was used for this purpose back here? That kind of shit back here ain't gonna help you deal with this shit over here. All y'all ain't gonna be able to do this shit over here. So why you still buying shit from over there? And it's shit any damn way, to me. Because you're still going off the shit from the past instead of looking at the shit that you need to be trying to create to do that type of shit to make your own name for that shit and stop living off this bullshit back here. Because that's what this is now. You want to really change the game, you got to change the whole look of the damn game. It ain't going to be about using this back here to sell puppies. Let's get back to why you sell puppies and why you start looking at the papers. And let's get over here, the legit side, and see how many of y'all can put together something that's worthy of talking about when it comes down to performance. Again, at least it's performance-based. Hell, Jeep wasn't running up no damn wall. Mayday didn't run up no damn wall. He was a confirmation champion, but he ain't been known to be the greatest confirmation dog in goddamn it history. He was a fighting dog, 5-time winner, grand champion. That's what you talk about when you talk about Mayday. Or anything else back there that has some type of title. In order to change the game, them titles got to change from this right here to what they doing over there. And then I can respectfully sit back and say, it's okay to say, fuck us over here. Because I ain't got to worry about you grabbing your papers and talking about us over here to sell your dogs. I'm more comfortable with you seeing over here getting some dogs off of that Marcel, that Marcel dog that runs up that damn wall. I'm into that kind of shit. Let's see how many of y'all are able to do that type of shit. Or get out here and win some confirmation shows well enough to where motherfuckers start talking about that dog's body. I'm going to get some dogs off of that motherfucker because that's 3-time champion. Because y'all know everybody can't get out there and win an ADBA show or a confirmation show or a treadmill race. Everybody can't do that. And then for the ones who think you can, it's going to be a whole lot harder for y'all to do that than it was for us to do this. Because they were bred for this purpose. They wasn't bred for that purpose. So that means you're going to have to put in some work. You're going to have to take that energy that they got stored up in there and redirect it in another direction, which means you got to have some type of ability to train a dog. Big shout out to my man, Student for Life, coming through with a 5-piece. He said, appreciate you pointing out the finer parts of the game. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And then I got my brothers, I got my protege in the room, my man Scratchline. Scratchline News, big shout out to you, bro. You know, I tell y'all this, and I don't know how many of y'all new to the show or, you know, but I'm going to say this because I've sat back and I've watched plenty of people who, when I see my brother, my brother talk out there, Scratchline, and some of you people act like, y'all don't really know who he is. But I'm going to straighten that out so y'all can clearly understand. I'm going to say this again. Scratchline and his brother are one of our proteges. I can guarantee this. They have had more dogs and bred more dogs and got good goddamn dogs and can sit up on this show right here. Most of the dogs we talk about, they created them dogs. They are the ones that help kept that going hard line moving forward. They are also the ones who, when they ever drop them straws, they're going to have the best bred Mayday dogs in the fucking world. Because I don't know too many of y'all who got Mayday's daughter bred back to Mayday, which will be Maytu, and still have straws. When you talk about Mayday, if they ever decided to do it, that will be the best bred Mayday dog that they create because he will have Mayday in their second and their third generation. None of y'all can say that. None of y'all. Y'all have, I don't think it's too many out there in that chat who have experienced the game like they've experienced because they learned the game from us. And if you look at their papers, they didn't do anything any different than what we did. And they had the same success. For those who be out there talk about he don't know shit, y'all just don't know who the fuck y'all talking to. But I'm going to fix that right now. Because if you don't know today, you will know. Because he's not one of them that you just think you can talk shit with because I'm going to stand on his coattail now. Because one thing I notice about him, he put y'all kind of in check, but he don't really put y'all in check. I had his older brother on the show early, so y'all really need to go back and check out the video. It's one of the early videos. But he ain't never been up here since, you know what I mean? But he always support me. He always stand with me. He knows. He grew up under me. Scratchline was a young man, a kid, actually, when he got involved with us and the dogs. That's a grown-ass man out there with a family now. It ain't too much that I feel that he can't tell y'all that we can't tell you. And they always say you're supposed to be better than your mentor. Well, he's another proven fact. So I thought I would clear the air while y'all out there acting like y'all on some shit when y'all ain't got, y'all couldn't, man, y'all couldn't stand nowhere in their shoes. If you just let it go. That's why I'm clearing the air. So when I see people talking, I just want to make sure y'all understand who y'all talking to and who y'all talking about. Because when you see us talking about a lot of these dogs on this show, a lot of them dogs came from them. Remember, I told y'all, we can only account for our 117 wins out of 54 dogs. 117 wins out of 54 dogs. Now, listen to that number. We can only account for 47 of them. Them wins. Where do you think the rest of them come from? Remember, everybody didn't have our dogs. Keep that thought in mind. Everybody didn't have our dogs. Them and a couple other people, but a lot of that work came from him. So when he's out there and he's saying some things he says, and I see people question that like he just another person in the chat. No. Because sometimes I be wanting to stop them and just put the whole thing on and just start blasting their asses, but because I let him deal with what he deal with. But my brother has always stepped up and he represent with us. And he made a comment, when y'all go off on going hard, whether they hear or not, he gonna say something. Well, it's always been like that. Remember, he grew up as a kid under me. And I feel the same way about him and his brother. But when I start seeing some of them comments that I be seeing in the chat and be wondering, man, y'all really don't know who y'all talking to. You really don't. Because every time we sit on this show, and a lot of the dogs we sit up with, all them pedigrees, anything that had anything to do with Maytu, anything, GG, anything that cool buck shit, anything to him and Mayhem and Arkansas, Louisiana, they did that shit. That's him right there in your chat. So y'all got to put in a lot of goddamn work to act like y'all know more than what he know, because not only can he talk about it, he will actually have my back and say he wasn't just talking about it. They was really about that life and have the dogs and the champions to prove it. Now, some of y'all out there, on your best day, you couldn't even start to have a conversation when you start matching receipts, when you start talking about him and his brother. And I ain't just talking just to be talking. I'm just saying it because, you know what? I got tired of looking and seeing it. I felt it was my duty to let y'all know that his family out there, and where he really just be humble about that shit, I'm going to make it a little bit easier for his humbleness by letting you know. You better be ready when you run your mouth and talk that shit to be called on it, because I can put up a whole bunch of his shit. Are you willing to get on this show and do the same? Because y'all can't even do that shit with us. So I know damn well you ain't ready to do it with him. Because y'all have no clue. None. But I'm going to help you with that. So for those who don't know, now you know. That's a real bulldog, man. That is one of my proteges. And yes, they are one of the ones, major factor in why the Going Hard line, y'all can still talk and find them out here to this day. Because they still around. Thanks to him and his brother. So, for y'all who don't really know, Screaming Demon, the man is right there in the chat. Y'all don't understand. Mayhem and them, they got a love, they got a connection. They got something that they can brag on. They can get up there and talk about dogs just like we do. Yeah, that other one, Mayhem Kennels, represent Arkansas, Louisiana. That's that Screaming Demon, cool buck shit. Y'all don't know? They ain't just talking to be playing. See, these are the things I be talking about when I be just sitting back watching shit. Y'all don't really know what it is to do it like what we did. Y'all have no idea what it took to create the shit that we could create, that we could still talk about, to even be worthy of talking about. Yeah, well, I know we were some bad motherfuckers, but I'm just reminding y'all, so were they. Because we can only account for 47 wins. How many dogs? 54? How many dogs? 54, 117? 57 out of 100.
57 dogs did that
117 matches out of 57 dogs. And out of that 117 matches, we can only account for 47 of them. So where do you think the rest of them came from? I'm going to tell you the majority came from them. They kept it running and kept showing us the shit that we did, it really worked. So I thought I'd throw that out there because, you know, I know he feel like I feel because we always talking about it, because everybody be thinking that we crazy when we talk about what the fuck this chain's supposed to be looking like. And when they be like, he get upset when they be like, you know, fuck that, them old motherfuckers, like, you know, and he don't understand that either because, again, you know, he come from my world. He grew up in my world. He was a part of that life. He knows what it is to have champions and to breed champions and to be private and to get out there and breed these dogs and put them to work. Clearly understand that. A lot of y'all don't have no idea what that's like and even have anywhere close to the success that they had. And they actually came behind us. Different era. They took up where we left off at and ran with it. So when my mentors look at us and be like, damn, man, twin, y'all blew up the spot, bruh. I know what that felt like because that's the way I felt about them. Damn, fellas, I'm proud of y'all. Y'all blew up the spot. So I thought I'd throw that out there because sometimes I'll be thinking, you know, you motherfuckers really don't know who y'all talking to. Maybe y'all don't have no idea, and maybe he ain't letting that be known. So I'm going to help him out. I know y'all can't hardly even deal with us and our accomplishments. There's no one in hell that you're going to even come anywhere close to doing what they've done because you don't have no idea. So I'm going to help you with that by just letting you know that's one of our proteges. And let me tell you something. I don't think too many people in that chat. I actually don't think there's anybody in that chat other than Armin. And I don't even know if it's Armin's in the house. I don't even know if Armin's in the house. But outside of him, I know that Abraham's ain't in there. You know, Eminem ain't in there. You know, outside of the people that I know that hangs around in our chat room, there's, you know, there's maybe one more. Yeah, there's another bad motherfucker out there that I know he is. But y'all got to go a long way to deal with at least that one right there, to even be considered to be on that kind of level and understand what we be talking about. Who've had the chance to be worthy of talking. That's a legend. And hopefully one day, him and his brother will snap out their nod when we dead and gone and pick up where we left off. Because that guy really do have a lot to talk about. We don't really talk about their careers because we leave that story for them. That's their story. That's their adventure. I see he be trying to share with y'all sometimes. Y'all just think he's just another person talking, but no, he's not. No, he's not. We put it out there. We sit there and talk because they're not ready to talk for themselves. But the day gonna come. I mean, I'm hoping the day come that once we get up out of this and they go pick up the slack and be able to take y'all on a ride, because they had one hell of a ride too. One hell of a ride. I would love to see him and Mayhem get up here and tell y'all their story. They did some damn good breeding. They made a lot of things happen. They did change. They had a part of changing the game. I mean, we can y'all holler screaming demon all the time, but hell, the motherfucker who was responsible for it sit right here in this chat. Both of them. How many of y'all can say that? But that kind of journey goes around, where they had to learn it from somewhere. And anything that had to do with them two brothers, I can tell you where they learned it from. Because they supposed to be able to do the same thing we did and be better, and they were. So I thought I'd throw that out there because I know he feel the same way I feel, because how can y'all sit there and talk shit and out here selling dogs and then talk shit because he say we private, like we supposed to be, because we ain't selling dogs. Well, guess what? Most of y'all out there selling dogs ain't never done a dog. Most of y'all out there with these goddamn dogs, seeing them jank on the rope and anything else, think that's what, that's how y'all grade y'all dogs. Well, don't be mad at us because we didn't grade our dogs like that. How many times did Mr. Garcia, professor, come up here and tell y'all that part of this game ain't gonna never change? This part right here about they were bred for a purpose, and we can never take that away from them. They're not Rottweilers. They're not German Shepherds. They're not Malinois. They're not King Corsos. These are American Pit Bull Terrier, a breed in itself, a badass American dog that was bred for one thing and one purpose only. It's a fighting dog. And we don't have to train them to do it. A real one. And take it from us. We know what a real one look like because we done had enough of them and was willing to go anywhere and go into anybody to prove that point. And we didn't have to talk for our shit. Our shit proved it for itself. How do we know? Come on now. We just don't talk about it. That's what receipts are for. So understanding that is where I get back to where this change coming from that y'all can still talk about fuck us. How? You can't never say fuck us. Not having an American Pit Bull Terrier. Can't help the dog is bred for a purpose. If I'm hurting your selling game, if I am hurting your game, anybody who want to sell their dog, if this part of your game that's gonna hurt you, then just keep it real with people. That's all I'm saying. You could be like some of them people over here who put titles on their dogs. They put titles on them. Now imagine that. Why the hell would you go all the way out your way to put titles on your dogs to sell dogs? Why would you do that if you wasn't full of shit? That's how they use the game now. Put titles on your dogs because that helps you sell your shit. At least time do go out and buy title dogs. But to sit there and just make up titles and then literally get out in front of the people and say it? These grand champions, bred grand champions, something ain't never been done. What the hell? And be boldly doing it. With a straight face. Come on now. And y'all don't see that? No, you don't see it because they what? They get it off. We don't know what we talk about. We old school. We ain't shit. Well, okay. Okay. But I do have receipts. You know, I don't have no problem. And you never hear us talk about a dog that wasn't about shit. Especially when it come off our yard. Anything we gonna talk about. Anything my proteges done had and they've done, and we talk about it, it was worthy of being talked about. I don't want to forget my man Jamie Long, because he had a big he had a whole lot to do with keeping this shit going on another way. My boys out there in California, they had another way of doing it. My boy down south, he had another way of doing it. So we had dogs in the right places, but I just wanted to make it clear. There's one that stands in this damn chat room that knows exactly what I'm talking about, because they are a part of that success. Right there every step of the way when we did it. And was right there and watched them as they grew and did what they did. To where he can now sit back and come to his family's show and enjoy these, talk about these dogs, and be as humble as he is, and still don't be blasting on y'all. But I'm gonna do that for him. Because I still say, you wouldn't even try that shit with me. Because I don't think you got enough paperwork, enough on your ass to hold up to even try to have a conversation. So why would I let you do that to my protege? Because you don't know who he is. So I'm going to help him like he helps me. Every time I see it, I'm going to put you on blast. I'm going to tell you who he is. Now I want to find out what you got the nerve. I mean, what do you have to even want to stand on what you saying to him? Like, I can show you who he is. Now, show me who you are before I get this part started. Y'all know how we do it over here. You got to be worthy before you can even get into that conversation over here. Now, I don't make us no bad motherfuckers. It just makes it, if you ain't never done shit and you ain't never had shit, then what the hell we got to talk about? That's going to be a short conversation, because over here, we talk about bulldogging. I don't know what the fuck y'all want. So I just want to wind this shit up and bring you back to reality, because over here, we bulldogging. We ain't trying to sell you shit. Ain't trying to sell you nothing. We just trying to tell you how the game used to be, our history, when they was bulldogging. The same shit to make y'all pick up y'all papers and go back and look down through your pedigrees and you see these dogs in there. There's a reason why them champions and grand champions, them ROMs, and how the motherfuckers bred mean a lot to you, because if it don't be for people like us, what the fuck else would y'all have to talk about? So don't act like you can just throw us away and use us when it's necessary to sell dogs. How about making up your own shit, like that dog running up the fucking wall? Or have the baddest motherfucker pulling weights, or the fastest motherfucker on the treadmill, or the baddest built motherfucker around, and then travel around and show how bad that motherfucker is by winning everywhere you go. That's how you change the game. And you do that, you won't have to be worried about talking about these motherfuckers back here, because there's going to be a new sheriff in town based off of his performance. That's when I understand this change, because the names have changed based off of performance. Can't be talking that bullshit and you still dealing with performance of the past. Who y'all fooling? So quick as you say fuck us, I want everybody to understand y'all need to be saying fuck y'all, them. Because what do they have that would make you think that they got the shit? And all you can talk about is some papers? Y'all know our format. Champions and grand champions. Give a fuck about whatever. I don't care how y'all don't like that. You don't have to fucking like it. I was a dog fighter. I ain't talking about everybody else. I'm talking about our shit. Scratch Iron and them did exactly what we did. So why would they not have champions and grand champions? Why you think we was winning? That's about that shit. Yeah, we can say that because we did that. Anything other than that, anything else that you're trying to stand on, have some fucking receipts. Because we don't have a problem producing receipts on nothing we talking about. That don't make us no bad motherfuckers. All that means is we mean what we say and we can prove it. Anything outside of that, you're just talking. And then you know how I feel about people just talking. What makes you even worthy to even having that conversation with me? To even get started, because you ain't got shit to stand on. Anybody can breed dogs. Anybody can talk about changing the game to sell dogs. We see a whole lot of that. But how the fuck is that changing the game? That's what I'm waiting on. Before you say fuck us. No, I ain't dead yet. I ain't dead yet. I'm still bulldogging. Now, this big shout out to all my bulldoggers out there. It ain't dead yet, fellas. It's okay to call that shit what it is. Don't be afraid. Call that shit what it is. That's a bunch of bullshit. Wait till you get your motherfucking grand champion that climbed up the damn wall before you talk about fuck us. Wait till you get that super fast ass motherfucker who running that treadmill in a certain time period before you say fuck us. Where that champion and grand champion at? Y'all ain't even got that part figured out to even know how you can even be successful at doing that much. So you still stuck with dealing with us. Because without us, you wouldn't have them champions and grand champions, these motherfuckers back there, to even be worthy of even talking about. Don't forget that. And for you young motherfuckers, trust what I tell you. They don't want to tell you that part of the story. But guess what? This is Going Hard Kennels. And we don't have no problem telling you we were dog fighters. We ain't no goddamn puppy breeders. We didn't sell puppies. We ain't got nothing to gain from having this conversation. Because over here, we don't do nothing but bulldog. And talk about the past. And it is what it is. Don't ask you to like it, but we ain't going to let you spit on it. If you're going to change the game, then be real about it. If you can't change the game, then be honest about it. I ain't never done shit. I ain't never did that. I ain't never did this. Give a fuck about all that other shit. Every dog gonna have papers. Y'all know what this shit are. Everybody painting their pedigrees. Look at all these goddamn colors all over the place. You go back to our earlier videos, look what we said about these damn pedigrees and pairs online. We be dead serious about that shit. Because where we come from, performance mattered. If all you gotta do is change the color to make it seem worthy or something, that don't mean shit. Where the real bulldog at? Because you was really bulldogging, you wouldn't have to go out here and make up no champions. If you was really bulldogging, you wouldn't have to worry about changing the color. You wouldn't have to worry about none of that bullshit. But who am I to say? I'm going to tell you who I am. I'm Going Hard Twin 1. Don't know what it is? We got 100 some videos. You can go back and research. Catch up. Quit listening to what people tell you and go do your research. By the time you make it back to this conversation right here, you should know who the fuck we are. And we don't just talk about it. We really be about it. So, can't just say fuck us. That's all I'm on. Turn this over to my man Mo. You got it, Mo. That's all I was giving you, man. Look, here go my poll question for tonight right here. Let me get my poll question out the way.
Go ahead, man.
Poll question of the night was, can confirmation show events ever be held to the same standards of grading the American Pit Bull Terrier as in the past? We had 23% that said yes, and 77% that said no. And that's out of 96 votes. Hey, y'all keep voting out there. Again, keep voting. Remember, anytime we do these polls, it's just to check to see who the hell out here watching the damn show. I just want to hear from that damn 26%. Them 20% to say yes, I want to hear from you.
You never hear that, man. They need to give it a new name. American Pit Bull Terrier is not what it should be called. It should be called the American Domesticated Dog. Domesticated Bulldog. Hello. Yeah, hold on, Bobby. Yeah, I'll go get it right quick. Hold on, y'all.
Hold on, bro. While you getting this cord, let me talk to you. Hey, look, fellas. I know I didn't put the number up and everything. I got my caller in, coming in right quick. We're going to get this situation set up. But anybody, we ain't like this StreamYard, but, you can call in and we can have this talk. Y'all know we get enough people, we get to call in. So, but again, you can still call. Now, I haven't put the number up, but I'm going to sit here and read the chat. And if you want me to put the number up, and you're going to call, because every time we put the number up, guess what? I don't ever hear people call. But I go to other people's show, and they'll hit that link and go up there and say all the shit they want to say. But then again, it's hard to do that over here. You know why I think it's hard to do that over here? Because over here, we bulldogging. I mean, it's really hard to talk about shit and a motherfucker to fight dogs. Especially you ain't never did it. What would your conversation be like? It wouldn't be. So I understand why people don't call. That's why I stopped putting the number up. But that don't mean we're going to bite your head off because we talk about the past. You know what I'm saying? You share your knowledge based on your experience. And I'm just on that. Hold on, let me get this back to Mo while I set this up right quick.
What's this tonight? The Twin One Show? You know what I'm saying?
Yo, bro, you there?
Sir, yes, sir.
Oh, let me turn you up here, bro. Is this my man, Windmill?
Sir, yes, sir.
Windmill, what up,
Sir,
baby?
yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. Another beautiful day out of the world, This is the best situation. Sometimes people forget that you two are my heroes, man. Like if somebody gotta rewind their lifetime and be like, who was the best of the best in their time or who they saw, man, I appreciate y'all, man. I mean, it's an honor to call in, to even get a chance to speak with you guys one-on-one like this in front of the world. A lot of people don't want to get in front of the world because they don't know who they are yet. But I know who you guys are. I appreciate who you guys are. I salute who you guys are. And there's a small piece of everybody that's really inside of them that they really want to be like y'all. They want to experience what these dogs are really about, And that's why I try to make sure people know there's a fantasy that you shouldn't get caught up in. Don't get caught up in the fantasy of these dogs. Don't use these dogs' power for some other kind of lane that lane don't even exist. So it's a pleasure to come up. And I can rewind it all the way back to when I had 17 phone calls. I went back and looked at my phone. 17 phone calls when you guys went up on Pro. You know how long ago that was? When you went up on Pro, they said, hey, yo, GH.CH over there up on the YouTube. I said, Nick, y'all lying. I said, stop lying, y'all. Don't mess with me like that, man. I told them, don't play me like that. And when I heard, man, ever since then, it's been hard for me for somebody to listen to people get up here and talk about the American Pit Bull Terrier and not have the experience or have the track record, whether it be on paper or through the system or through dogs on pedigrees online or matches in the journal, it's been real hard for me to be like, man, what fantasy are these other people living? You know? And I want you guys to know your lives have totally made some people really think about what kind of dog they got and why they have these dogs. You know, and I think you guys help people check themselves on what they're talking about too. You know, because it doesn't take a rocket science to know that the game is always going to be there. But how many lashes are you willing to take? How many times can you fall and get back up? You know, it's just like drug dealing. It's just like anything illegal. These dogs in their aspect since almost 87, when they sent them people don't even know in 87 they sent that coalition out for dog fighters. They had a specific unit, just like a gang unit, and they was gonna scrape you. They wasn't gonna take your dog. They was gonna scrape you. They started scraping the money, and they started scraping you as a person. So I want the world to know that this reality that was lived through you guys, the war wounds you guys took are real. The war wounds you guys got on your body and in your brains, it's real. It's not some made up militia. It's not some made up story. These ain't no made up dogs. This is reality. So I think this reality has been the best thing for somebody like me, because you'd never catch me up here talking to somebody who don't know what the real is going on. And you're going to catch me trying to catch people talk about they know what the real is going on, because that's what's really going on. Because some of us are hunting. Some of us will, if you can't get it out of our blood, you can't change us, you can't tell. And I want to say salute to all these channels out here. But if I catch you, and I did catch a couple people, and they out of order, just stay in your own lane, stay in order. Don't take things so personal, but don't claim the game from the old school and then talk bad about the old school. Because the old school is the only school that still exists with this dog. It's the only school. You ain't gonna catch nobody over there looking at Dobermans and arguing about Dobermans, or you ain't gonna catch somebody over there arguing about Rottweilers or bird dogs. You ain't gonna catch that. You're gonna catch them over here in this reality that they're not a part of, but they get to listen. They get to sit back and watch the show. They get to be involved in the chat. I hate to say it, I think the chat, man, salute to the chat, because a lot of knowledge is in the chat. A lot of knowledge is in the chat. But this show has been therapy for me. Buck City has been therapy for me, because we ain't got nothing fake really going on. And for the people who think it's fake, you know what's really going on. You can't stop the world can't stop this. I told you guys about this American system. This American system done train people like Twin and Two to make the system stronger, make it smarter, find out new ways to mix it so it mixes so good that you can't take the elixir anymore. We got to find the right people to take this medicine. So GH.CH, salute to y'all. We ain't gonna let them go tonight, because I think people be forgetting. We're not talking about let the dogs go. We're talking about let us go. Let us get back to what we're doing. Leave us alone. We over here in this situation. If you want to come down in the sewer, I got a flashlight for you, baby. It's dark, but I got you. We're going to walk together. But don't act like this game is going anywhere. The people have gone somewhere. We had to go somewhere where they couldn't find us no more. We got to go somewhere where they don't want to go no more. But y'all keep doing the bulldog thing out there in the world, how you want to do it. Everybody got their own symptoms. Everybody got their own lane. But tonight, once again, we're blessed to talk to GH.CH. You know, I appreciate y'all. You know that, right? I hope y'all know that.
Yeah, we know, bro.
Thank you. Know, bro. You know. Hey, I need to get some of your night visits. I like your night visits. They pretty nice, baby.
Well, sometimes the jersey numbers, you can watch the jersey number a couple times, but as long as you press it and use a little starch, you don't have to make it come back. It's the same thing as that other stuff. You whip it right, it comes back, and everybody want to buy it again.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But I was born in that. I was born in that. I was reborn in that New Jack where you had to have a team. Y'all hear me in the chat when I say camp versus camp, chest to chest. You had to be real. You had to come talk to somebody face to face. I don't know what that happened, but I do know why it happened, and that's just because a lot of people said, "I love my family, I love my kids, I don't want anything bad to happen," because this game has always been you're gonna take a chance. 50-50. You roll the dice, you're going to win or lose. You can lose big or you can win big. This is the real game. GHK plays the real game.
Yes, sir. And guess what, women, while you're in here? Is it possible to say fuck us and still be trying to pull up pedigrees and still be talking about us? Is that fair?
Well, let me give you an example, OG. Somebody thought they were verbally scratching into you, right? So what I did was I felt like I went and scratched into their whole camp, and I thought I cleared their whole yard out. You feel me? I thought I ran through their whole yard, So you know how when you got your best dog, and then that best dog go down, and then that yard start looking around like, well, who's up next? And ain't nobody gonna step up next because that dog was better than all of them. So if they feel like you can scratch out or say F the old man, that's the wrong thing to do because he done built so many seeds and planted so many seeds and he done made sure that his legacy is stronger than ever. Y'all forgot this is a plantation. They forgot it's a plantation. You're only as strong as what you can build. So what GHK, they might have think they brought. See, he explained he has a protege. But what do you think that protege got? Don't y'all know that protege got proteges? And the other proteges got proteges? It's the program, baby. This is the real game. It's not gonna stop. We're gonna keep building. But no, they better, they know better. We all know what's going on, We know to stay in reality.
Well, I'm still waiting on the new. I'm still waiting on the change. I want to see how this change is supposed to happen without having to go back and deal with the old.
Okay, but you gave the one example. You gave the one example who Native Gold has stepped up and said, "Look at what I've done," and it's a beautiful thing.
Yes, sir.
Now
that's the start for me.
That's a lane though.
Yes, sir.
See, we gotta remember that's a lane. That's not the purpose. The purpose is a blanket. And if you get under that blanket, you got to be in a certain lane. You got to get in, you know what I mean? You're gonna be on the left side of the bed, you're gonna be on the right side of the bed. Marisol, that ocean girl, she is in her lane and she's running and she's doing great. But the purpose of the dog was, do you got a grand champion? Do you got a champion? Are you winning? You know what I mean? That's what the purpose was from the jump. So I don't want people to think they can't change lanes. You can change lanes, but you can't change that dog.
Right. You can start a new lane, but that dog gonna still be what it was bred to be.
That's right.
So appreciate you coming in there. When you always that soldier, you don't never really change, but you try to mend that wall together. But to me, that wall ain't gonna be mended until you actually do what that bitch does. And to me, she's the one that I would build around based on what she can do.
And that's crazy that you say that because And this is all love to Mr. Garner. Mr. Garner know me. You know what I mean? You guys think we don't know each other? You ain't never heard me talk bad about him because he, in 7 to 8 years, he gonna rule the pedigrees, you guys. His name is gonna be on every American Pit Bull Terrier. I don't think you guys understand this American dream either. So we got to make sure that we're putting this dog is a bigger concept than just that box and just that, oh, we can change it and make it different. No, there's a lot of levels to this dog, and that's why it's been able to conduct the power and economic status it has. It doesn't just conduct a couple dudes saying, I'm getting me a pit bull and I want to be Carver, I want to be Eli, oh, it's going to have mouth, and that's not what it's always about. The big picture is who's going to be standing in the end. What bloodlines are going to be standing in the end? You just heard OG tell you, if he bring out them straws, salute to Mayhem and Scratch. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know, you know what I'm saying? They know what it is. We're in real time forever. We're not gonna change who the people we are. We've gotten better and smarter, and yup, we done had to go a little deeper into the game just to make sure the game stays what it is.
Yep. More private, more everything.
Yeah, the night vision.
That's right.
The night vision. If you and for the dark side, you got to have a dark side because what else? They ain't gonna have no jobs. If we ain't got the dark side, they ain't got the light, whatever you want to call it. All of a sudden, there ain't nothing going on. Everybody's sitting there looking at each other stupid. You know, so we're not going to change who people are. We're not going to change the dog. We just want you guys to open up more lanes because the lane of the old school is what built the blanket every lane is under. The lanes that are built today are because of the blanket that was built in the old days. Period.
I want to give a big shout out to Buck City in the house. What up, Buck City? Buck City said his name ain't gonna be in my shit.
Can't get under that blanket. That's right.
Big shout out to Buck City.
Buck City said ain't gonna be in
his name ain't gonna be in his shit.
If it's gonna be if it's gonna be any good, pretty soon that's all who's gonna be out there worthy doing anything.
Well, that's that purpose. That's when that purpose comes back in and people look around what they really doing.
Right, you got to be in your shit. It's just, if it's working, if his shit is working, I wouldn't give a damn whose name is in that shit. You know what I'm saying? If it's working.
Yeah, we're gonna get down to business. We're gonna get active. Yeah, it's about getting active.
About being active about that shit. You know, if you ain't got, you know.
OG went 1, 2. I'm gonna let y'all get back to and stay active. I'm glad everybody's on top of the soil. I'm glad everybody's breathing. You know, Father's Day and all that other stuff is coming up. Glad you just had your birthday. Salute to GR.CH, man. Y'all keep doing it big. You know, I'm gonna get back in this real time though. You know, we here for you, man.
Hey, thank you, fellas. Thank you, man. Thank you
for stopping through, fam.
All love.
One.
I want to give a big shout out to Full Bite Kennels coming in with a 5-piece. He said they pup pushers, OG. Y'all are the legends. Legends. Appreciate that, fool.
Thank you. Hey guys, explain when everybody that talks to us, you're always gonna hear me say, you'll never hear me say bye. You always hear me say one. You know, and it gets around because, you know, people that deal with me, they know Twin doesn't never say bye. He always says one. Understand that word one. When I say one, when I get off a conversation with you guys, it's because that one carries a meaning. You know, that one is us as a whole. Us as a whole. One. One movement. One goal. Under one roof. One blanket. It's not meant for a two. It's one. We're all in this. Inside that one, respect, loyalty, integrity, honor, truth. You know, that's what one is. What is our common goal? It can be anything. But what are we one in? What is my one that I consider us as one? The American Pit Bull Terrier. Whether he's running up a tree, going across the treadmill, pulling a weight, he's still a breed of dog. What you choose to do with that dog is everybody's privilege. What you are trying to do with the history of the dog, you can't do. Because you can't change history. Last time I remember, I ain't seen a time walker yet. Okay, so you can't change what history has done. You know what I'm saying? And if it don't be for history, where would the progress come from? Jesus went into Jerusalem on a donkey over 2,200 years ago. But then all of a sudden, we driving in Jerusalem in Jeeps, cars, we can even fly in Jerusalem. But without the history of Jesus and that donkey, where's the progress? We're supposed to have been around here millions of years. This earth been around here millions of years. Yet we don't get progress till Jesus rides that donkey through Jerusalem. Progress begins based on history. We ain't walking through Jerusalem still on that donkey. So there's progress. And as one unit, one family, this is where progress grows. Everybody wants to do the right thing with the dogs where, you got to be honest. When it became illegal to fight dogs, it became illegal to be a dog fighter. That in itself is where the group in history, even after all the laws, after all the raids, after all the confiscations, after all the time they didn't passed out, even to me, we still got night vision. The deeper, we got to go deeper. That's all. As one, we all understand that. The game ain't meant for everybody. But in this one section right here, we can relate. So when we relate as one, I shouldn't have to blurt out anything. We should understand what we're talking about. The progress of the game will always be there because you're going to always have that element. They got rid of booze and bamboos thinking, they're going to shut that shit down. And it went underground. Could they get rid of it? Bootlegging? No, they couldn't. So what they do? They bought it back. Same with the weed. Weed used to be legal back there in the day when everybody was running around smoking and be out there in the park smoking with their big old concerts and shit, Made that illegal. You know what I'm saying? Progress. Couldn't stop it. So what they doing now? Everybody's trying to legalize marijuana now. Don't forget the fight game. Remember my big man, old dude, he died, you know what I'm saying? Used to be out there doing those street fights. You know what I'm saying? That used to be an underground sport, literally. Underground. YouTube come out, we start seeing videos with my boy out here knocking people out. I've seen a couple fights where they, he had to work a little bit too. Oh, Kimbo Slice. You know what I'm saying? He was the man. He, look, that right there elevated him. He went from nobody knowing he out here doing this to somebody knowing he out here doing this to now that they videoing him out here doing it all the way up to the UFC. That's what you call progress. He took what was illegal and made it legal for himself and grew on that. Big shout out, real bulldog, real straight up bulldog. If he was a bulldog, he'd be a grand champion. You know what I'm saying? He would be a grand champion. Because if he had came in doing it right from the giddy up, he probably would have been greater than he was. But that's how the game works. Everybody's not meant to be runking around down there in the dark. If you was meant to be there, you would have night vision and you know where you was going. That means because you belong there. A lot of guys try to get there, you got to go through a process because it's like you said, a lot of guys, hey, they got families. I'm prime example. I got a bunch of kids, a bunch of baby mamas. Because, in my progress, dogs meant everything to me, whether I was training them to attack people or raising them to fight. It was still my progress. The chance that I was willing to take. Like all these other great kennels that took me in and taught me, we were all one because we all had that one thing in common. The objective. What was my objective? To be one like them. What was my Proteges' objective? Why did you stick around? Why did you stay close? Because he wanted to be part of the one. That's what that one means. It's togetherness. A common cause. Whether it's illegal or illegal, it doesn't matter. It's just in that unit of one, we know the difference. We know what's real. We know what ain't. We know what's right and we know what's wrong. All the things that we have to accept, we all know this as one. So when I get off the phone, I be talking to somebody, you're going to hear me say bye, talk to you later. You're going to always say one. You're going to always hear me say that. Because that's how much it means to me when it comes to this shit here. That's all it means to me. Everybody I talk to out there, I look as one big family. There that word again, one big family. Whether you want to take it this way or that way, anyway, it still relates to the American Pit Bull Terrier. Like they said, there's lanes to this. Pick your lane and stay in your lane. For those who want to step in that outer lane, the lane that has went through progress from the donkey to the Mercedes and the airplane rides, that's progress in that lane. That progress right there is in that lane. And the history is being made in that lane for the progress of the future. What is the future going to do with it? Hey, there was progress even when we were getting busted. There was progress even when we was getting raided by all the alphabets. Confiscating dogs. Don't even have to have no evidence of dog fighting just because you got a bunch of damn dogs. Hitting great men's yards. Floyd, Pat Patrick, you know what I'm saying? Oh, Mr. Whitney. Coming down on everybody. They're trying to eliminate eliminate. They're not dumb. If they can go out there and figure out how the cocaine is getting into this country, all the way down to the cartel that is actually producing it, all the way down to how he's getting it over. Now all they got to do is concentrate. Every once in a while they get the big bust, but they still ain't stopped that concentration of drugs coming in here. They're getting their hits, but they stopped it. No. They cut it down? Yeah. You're going to get a cut down. But are you going to stop it? Because cut off that snake, the head grows back. Same thing goes with anything that's underground. The underground should continue to operate because it's always been like that. It was like that when I came in. It wasn't legal. They just passed this 78 law, 1978. Became a misdemeanor. Then it just started elevating up to felonies. Now it's been elevated all the way up to a federal crime. You know, the squeeze is on. But it's no different than anything else that you're doing out here illegal. You know, there's a lot of people out here that, you know, that wants to play the game and want to be El Chapo, dress like him, act like him, talk like him. You know what I'm saying? It's part of that world. What's the same thing over here? Everybody want to be like Earl Tudor. Everybody wanted to be like Benny Clayton. Everybody wanted to be a super nat. I wanted to be them all. I just wanted to be able to just be able to have one man and really know what it felt like, because I admired what they was doing. I admired it so much that all I wanted to do, know what it felt like. I'm sitting here watching McNasty and Abrahams and True Colors and Stone City and Hardcore and Triple M. These is not no just flinged out names. Mile, Legion of Doom. I mean, I can run, I can run them all. They even dived into the Mayday shit. Deep South. None of them. Missing Link. These are one. I wanted to be part of that one. I can look on their yard and see great dogs. I know what a great dog look like. I've seen what they look like. I know what it takes to have a good dog. That's all I wanted to do. Know what it felt like to have me one. So this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like to win. This is what it feels like to win another one. This is what it feels like when you win your first champion. Do you know what goes into doing that shit 3 times? Do you know the work, the sacrifices, the chances that you're putting on the line just to be able to say, my dog is a champion? You know, to y'all, when y'all look at that, y'all, it don't mean shit to y'all. Y'all whether get it on the treadmill and up a wall. I ain't knocking that. The true essence of where I come from, no. My hero was the ones standing over there letting that shit go. Seeing Queen and these great dogs and be like, if I'm going to feed a bunch of dogs, this is the kind of dogs I want to feed. And this is what I'm willing to take a chance on. If I'm going to take a chance and risk my family, my life, and my yard, this is what I'm accepting. I'm accepting that chance. What could be that powerful to risk everything you love? The love of the dogs, the competition, the competitiveness. Be able to look at this animal. You put him in and he going to give his all. Everybody's not on the same level. great kennels we talk about, they are on another level. They're on a plateau because they just didn't have a one-hit winner. They had a pattern, a formula that they had to have love in. They had to have the will to put the work in to be able to continue holding these things between their legs and letting them go and winning to the point where they made progress. We're talking about we didn't move from Earl Tudor and them. We didn't move from Floyd Boudreaux and them. We didn't move past Tom Gardner. Tom Gardner out here buying his shit back based on what we do. Mayday wouldn't be shit without us. Frisco wouldn't be shit without us. Ain't none of these damn dogs we talking about through none of these great kennels that ran up one motherfucking wall. Or jumped on one damn treadmill. Every pedigree that I pulled from all these great kennels ain't got not a one of them in their pedigree. But you want to use that to make it be a tree climber? There's no problem. It seemed like an easier job for me. That's all it is to me. Yeah, I think it's a good thing, but it's an easier job. We ain't got to worry about them being confiscated. We ain't got to be worried about them breaking the law. Your love is so strong that you're willing to put yours up on a wall. Well, I'm sorry. In this game, there's a reason why people are still putting on night vision. Probably the same reason that I looked at all the circumstances and the consequences of putting on them same old night vision glasses and saying, fuck it, with everything at risk. Because I love them like that. They call us cruelty. They say we're cruel to animals. They say all that shit. But if you look at it like I see it, so what do you call me as a soldier? You know what I'm saying? You condition me. You take me over there and drop me off in motherfucking Beirut or Afghanistan or Iraq and be quick to let your ass go. Scratch. Don't know who we scratching into. Yeah, we supposed to be smarter than dogs. And they use that. Why do we scratch? Because we love our country? Or is that why you scratching us? Or you putting it in our head to love our country to make us willing to scratch for you? Same thing we do with our dogs, ain't it? Dog can't read. Dog can't take care of himself. You could probably do it if he's running loose, running wild. But he's not. He's chained up. You have to feed him. You got to clean his shit up. You got to give him his water. You got to work him. He don't get no paycheck. And if he fail, he through. Just that simple. He's easily eliminated. It's like our warriors when we die. Out there on the battlefield. They put us there and they put a gravestone, at least gonna give us a name. And for those who was honorable, they give them medals. And if you was really honorable, like a grand champion honorable, you got a Medal of Honor. You see what I'm saying? Everything has a progress and a process. What they try to make illegal, what they try to hold down on. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I'm stuck in it like, you know, here's my excuse. You know, they had me go see a psychiatrist because, you know, I wouldn't denounce what I did was wrong. You know, and I'm going to a psychiatrist. They making me do this psychiatrist shit. And through all their psychiatry, they couldn't get me to do that because I could not never differentiate, make the difference between, my love of these dogs like they soldiers to me. I feed these things. I could be using this money to put in my wife's pocket or my kid's pocket, but I'm out here doing this shit because what I see, what I feel. Ain't the same thing happened when I was a little young man and went into the United States Marine Corps? Is it not the same thing? Am I not one of the part of the fightingest, baddest motherfucking group of military in the world? This is what they built. Look what they put in me. Now, you don't tell me I take that same idea and use it on a dog, but it's called illegal. But it's still the love that makes you be illegal. When you go out here and kill somebody legally because you're in the Marine Corps and you're in a battlefield, a battle situation, you're doing murder. We're killing people. Sometimes innocent people, including children. That's how it is in war. Ain't that the same thing we do when we feed these dogs? Ain't that the things that we're thinking for our dogs who don't understand? All they know is, hey, I've been put through a test. I'm still alive. I see a lot of empty chain space. If a dog had sense and could talk. What happened to JoJo yesterday? He didn't come back. Oh, JoJo took a fall. Imagine if they could talk. They'd probably be just like me. Damaged goods. Maybe they got wrong, bad handlers. I say like this, countries we go in and take over, they be having bad handlers. Somebody got to lose. The fact is, you can't get a winner or a loser without somebody being over there and somebody being over here. And you got to be willing to let it go. Make it happen. You got to have the competitiveness got to be there. And we lose sight of that when people be wondering why we take those chances. That's my reason. Because I love what I saw in that animal. My research into that animal. The greatness that I saw in that animal. Through all odds. What they give us. Can't do nothing but love it. If I can't love them, I sure ain't loving myself because I watched the government do that to me. I stand strong being a Marine. I'm proud to be a Marine. I know what I went through to be able to say I'm proud to be a Marine. I don't need nobody to speak for me on that part. Thank me for my service and everything else. That's all good. But can't nobody be more prouder than me just to be a Marine. Because I know what it takes to be one. I know why, as a world in the air that we breathe on this earth, why nobody want to fuck with us. They talk that shit, but for real, this world knows that spearhead. It takes a certain integrity. It's a government plan. Remember, there's a bunch of smart-ass think tanks to put all this shit together, know how to direct us like we do our dogs. Go in there giving them the wrong shit and they run hot, guess what? Go in there and give us the wrong shit and put us out on the battlefield, guess what? Shit ain't gonna happen. You gotta know what you're doing to be successful. And you sure ain't gonna go in there being no fake soldier. You talk that shit. But ain't too many countries out there that ran into our wrath. They sound like the same old guys, you know. Talk that shit, but you had enough courage to be that shit, to test that shit. And you put it down there and you let it go. And it could cost you your life. Or it's going to maybe cost them their life. The chances is all the same thing. It's all a chance. Why do you do it? When they ask me that, I always going to put it back on because I'm a Marine. And to me as a Marine, I can relate to that pit bull. I can honor that dog. I can take care of that dog. I can make him like y'all made me. I can win like we win. Everybody might have their own aspect of what they was doing to get them where they was, but mine was like Marine Corps first. Here's me a soldier. I ain't out here shooting, killing nobody. Competitiveness is definitely brewing in the body. Oh, Sarah Powell, greatest thing that ever happened to me, because in the meanwhile, I was raising Dobermans, making it like I was the Doberman gang. I had some killer ass Dobermans, and I've always had killer dogs. My dogs fight people. I've always been into that part. But to see a combat dog, one that really combats against another great dog of the same breed, you know, this is what made the pit bull in its own universe. All these other dogs can scrap it up like a motherfucker, but they don't have the gameness in the heart of a Marine. And another breed out there like them. They're trying to make them, but there's a few in the crowd. And as time goes on, guess what? Y'all really gonna be few in the crowd because they have systematically chop, 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 chop. But like they said, you know, you might have took a big chunk out of it, but you haven't got rid of it. And in the midst of that, you have the goons upstairs shining, you know, like they said, you know, you got the fake papers, you got everybody in here wants to be Earl Tudor. Do more practice trying to fake the game instead of being the game. You know, but that's okay because you're exposed upstairs. You won't do that downstairs because you won't fit. It wouldn't happen. But sooner or later, you know, that part of that life right there, you do really have true sharks out there. You have guys out there that love the game so much that they constantly looking to put something on your shit. They don't care who. They just want to get their shit off. And they need somebody that's willing to do that with them. So we're going to continue having great dogs. They're going to keep on trying to chop, but all you're doing is forcing them further into the dark, where they got to really look hard to find it. And the deeper in the dark they get, the more separated they get from you people. People like us upstairs. So a lot of you guys is bragging about y'all shit, don't have no idea what's really winning in the dark. You're never going to process or progress a great dog. Because that's not where they come from. That's not where you find them. That's the point. Stay up here in the light. And don't go fucking off in the dark, because still up here in the light where it's all at. All this is show shit. This is not where this was built from. You're not part of that one. You are part of a family, but you're not part of that one. You know, we have a blanket. And in that blanket, we cover a lot of areas. But that one right there is on lane. That's the fast lane. They can destroy it, try to cut it off, but they can never get rid of it. As long as it's always being competition, as long as there's being competitive dogs being wherever they are, wherever got them, wherever they're at in this whole big old world, you're going to continue seeing great dogs. Maybe not in the numbers that was in the New Jack time, but you best believe there's still conquerors out there conquering. You may get lucky and catch one. Might be somebody out your neighborhood. You might be sitting on it. But you best believe you ain't going to catch him on Facebook. You best believe you won't be catching him sitting on this podcast talking about what he did last week, or what champion he just made, or what grand champion he just bred. You ain't going to find him on this kind of shit. So what do we expect to see when we out here on this kind of shit? We know we ain't finding the real shit because we can't talk about the real shit. So let's get a reality check on that. There's a lot of shit that y'all talk about out here that y'all never put in true retrospect because you'll never get there to get it done. It's easier for you to talk about it than to be about it. Because you're up here. It's okay. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it up here because this is where it belongs. You ain't gonna have me sitting here on no damn podcast arguing about somebody, you know what I'm saying, who wants to be me. If he wants to be me, he wouldn't be on this shit here. He would be somewhere getting him some gargles. I mean, some real nice, good night vision. Because he's going to have to look far and hard to find me. And as he's trying to search, guess what he's searching with? He better have a badass dog. While he was talking all that shit. Because when he find me, he'll be prepared to stand there and compete. He won't be up here on YouTube or Facebook going back and forth. That's how it go. So I can't understand anybody arguing about some shit upstairs that you know you're not going to go downstairs and do shit about it. We all know that. We just like to hear the shit, right? It doesn't do me no good. That's why I stopped. You don't see me showing up nowhere. And if I show up, it's because I'm stopping in to say hi. Because I try to support everybody, even when, you know, you're not on, you know, I just don't really do it anymore. Because I see where it's going, and it's not for me. Y'all make me hate who I am and what I've done. If I was hanging around with y'all, because like I said, I'm like that Indian who sits back and watch how, when the Indians had how beautiful this country was. And then that same Indian look at the country now that they done lost it, and tears always coming out his eyes because they're seeing how we didn't just took the shit and just ruined this country. Well, it's the same thing with the dog game. But it ain't changed the fact that it's still here, somewhere around this world. There's somebody out here with a great dog that's proving it. Not talking about it, he's being about it. And those are the dogs that's worthy of talking about that only the dark side can produce. Only the dark side can produce because that's the only place it can be proven. And no other place it can be proven like that. That's the true test of the American Pit Bull Terrier, bottom line. Now, there's other ways that you can prove that shit, but that's the ultimate. You can be in the Air Force and fly your planes and do more damage. You know, flying your plane like a dog running up and down wall. Be just as good, worthy of talking about. You could be a Navy man. You can be a Navy SEAL. with your dog. You got all the expectation and the things of a true killer. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to be in the dark. You're going to be down there with the dogs. You be in the army, same thing. Because we all are taking those chances. Everything's a chance. Just as good as you can win, you can lose. Just as good as you taking that chance to going out there doing that shit, it's a good chance as your ass getting caught. Good chance to get it, it's a good chance to lose it. Everything's a chance. How much is your love for that shit for it to be worthy of trying? Some of us love it that much that we rather take the risk. This game was built on risk. Those great dogs came from risk in all levels, in all aspects. Is it an adrenaline rush? No. No. I think it's just a love. It's a love. For me to have to go and rake up shit every day, you got to have some type of love. Go out there and make sure that they're nice and healthy. You know, you can get caught up in that two-world life. The two-world life is, remember we come from the New Jack era. Cocaine and dog fighting is obvious that the police has connected the two and continue to try to connect it. Like all dog fighters are drug dealers when, maybe it was like that in the early years because that's what the dog game brought to it. They attracted drug dealers, gamblers, hustlers. Yeah, it was. But then there was still your lawyers, your police, your professional players, whether in regards to what sport. I mean, we're still normal people. Everybody in the dog game wasn't drug dealers. So, they try to separate it by trying to tell us that, we're cruel, evil people. They're doing that propaganda and they're so quick to spread your yard all on the news, make you like you some terrible person. You might not be taking care of your yard the way you're really supposed to be. And when they caught you with your pants down and your yard was looking like it was a bunch of shit, you still might have loved your dogs, but guess what? You didn't love them enough. That's the key. You gotta be disciplined. You gotta be motivated. You gotta be always on it at all times. You don't clean that gun when it really need to go shoot. Goddamn, that motherfucker don't shoot you. That's your life. So you're gonna tell me you're gonna have to maintain your gun if you're trying to stay alive. It's like the same thing when you're doing something wrong out there, whether it's from drugs all the way down to dogs to whatever the hell you're doing. If it ain't right, you better have a real good thing of discipline, because you never know when that door comes getting knocked open. You never know when that wandering eye wanders ass to your ass. If you ain't got the discipline, you ain't got the dedication, they're gonna catch you fucked up. Oh, I'd take care of it tomorrow. You take care of it tomorrow. Throw your dog back out of the chain. Well, guess what? You got to knock on the door, wake you up before you could take care of it. Now you getting caught with a fucked up dog that you want to take care of tomorrow, and they beat you to the punch, and now they catch you with a fucked up dog on your yard. Or you done took off for a week. Dog's barking the whole time you're gone because ain't nobody feeding them. It's that one time you pay a person to take care of your yard and, you know, you really ain't got a real yard, man, and you ain't got nobody to stand over your shoulders. How many of y'all didn't send out somebody in your yard and go behind them and you don't see them doing shit but collecting your money? Nope, this is why a lot of y'all get fucked up. And don't take and feed too much shit that you know that you can't afford to feed and take care of. If you can't give 100% to the whole yard, then you need to take care of everything that you can take care of and get rid of the rest. If you can't do that, then you're taking on too much. You need to get rid of a lot of that shit and get down to what you can take care of 100%. So you don't get caught dirty or you don't get caught wrong. Follow your state regulations. Stand up and be right, whether you're running up a wall or treadmill or whatever. But if you're feeding a damn pit bull, you got to have a dog running the treadmill to have a goddamn good treadmill runner. You got to hide like you underground just like we do. And all you want to do is run your dog in a treadmill race. But just imagine one motherfucking dog catcher and he see that treadmill and next thing you know it, he got a bunch of dog catchers and the police. When all you doing is running your dog on a treadmill. You may lose your whole yard. So for all y'all trying to do it right shit, how many dogs are y'all gonna lose? Trying to show them y'all are trying to do it the right way. How many tags and labels are y'all gonna have being labeled as cruel? Can't put them out on chains, so you want to keep them in a run where they don't get no exercise. Get the elbow marks from men on the ground because they can't do much of nothing. For those who use concrete, or the knots on their ankles because they can't get no exercise on the chain. It's all the things that they want to do in today's world. Ain't that what the show about, Mike?
Yes, sir.
In today's world. You want to know where it's going? It's going deeper into the deep darkness. Down there where you know you got to go way deep to get into the pitless bottom. And that's the safest place to be, then guess what? We'd just be all hanging out down there together as one. There's not a whole bunch of us here, but we still here. And when we still here, that means we're still processing for progress. That means we're still putting them down. And only the winners are the best to come out of that. Everybody can win, and the same winners can be losers. It's just to compete. That's all it is. It's to compete. If you can't compete, then don't go fucking with it. It's easier to talk up your dog than to put your dog. You know what I mean? It is. It's easier to talk up your dog than to pit your dog. You got to pit that dog, guess what happens? The truth. And it won't come through your words. It won't come through your words. The truth will come through proof. And it won't be coming out your mouth. So, I think that was a good point. You know, where's the game going to be in and out? Hey, everybody, this is the new. Y'all don't have no journals. Y'all don't really have books. You know, a lot of y'all learn from these chat rooms. A lot of y'all get your entertainment from these chat rooms. You know what I'm saying? And these shows. You know what I mean? Make you, I hope y'all come to this show and get a chance to reminisce. And if you ain't a dog fighter, reminiscing to the world because it's all fictional. It's all it is for the entertainment. Soak it up. I always say, bring your imaginary glasses with you guys so y'all can feel what I'm saying. If you feeding this shit, then you can feel this shit. But don't stand there and get so caught up in the shit that you didn't put enough time and grade out here on these podcasts to feel like you just as good as the motherfuckers who's in these podcasts. That's when it all starts going array, because really, the dwellers, those are, I call those guys with the vision, they're laughing at everybody and making fair warning. Better not catch none of that shit down here. We got too much to lose. We don't want to hear none of that shit. They be the main ones fussing about the damn shows. Y'all ain't shit. If y'all talking about the way the game gonna move based on these shows that we watching, twin, they ain't gonna do shit. They ain't gonna have shit. They talk too damn much. You got everybody wanting to be somebody. That's all it's about. So, hey, take it off for what it is, man. Know everybody, it is what it is. Anybody got any questions? Look here, guys. Within the next 2 weeks, it's going to be one of these weeks that we are not going to be doing shows. It's going to be one of these weeks. I have a ex-wife that's sick, and she's a mother of my daughters. My daughters are both grown, and she's sick. And I do have feelings for all my kids' mamas. Even if I ain't with them, I'm gonna always have something connected, because I'm gonna feel my child's pain when it comes to losing their mother. So I know within one of these weeks, I'm going to be heading home to check on my family. And I can't do that and give you guys what I do every week here. So we don't know what it is, but it's going to be some time. I got to step away and go take care of some family. So I don't know when it's coming, but I know it's coming. Other than that, I need your prayers. Definitely want to have your prayers, because it's never easy losing somebody you care about. She had 2 beautiful daughters, and she did a great job. And she's actually the youngest of all my baby's mamas. Really. And, to see her terminally ill kind of hurts. But I'm going to be there, even if she's nothing but an ex-wife. I still love her enough to know that, I would definitely want to see her and encourage her to keep her head up. If she don't do anything, she's probably going to encourage me, because, I fight it every day and hope that I never get to that position. And her condition and, her fight is just a matter of time. So, y'all, keep up with the prayers. I'm pretty sure Mike gonna let you know when it is, but I'm just putting it out there to let y'all know, at some time, we are coming to an end somewhere in the near future, but sometimes we do have to take a break. And I got to take a break and go deal with my family.
All right, fellas, we at that time of the show. Before I get this thing started, all right, let me read back to this thing right here. Appreciate everybody who came out to the show. Don't forget to hit the like button. Everybody who participated in the poll. We had 118 people who voted tonight. Our poll question: can confirmation show events ever be held to the standards of grading the American Pit Bull Terrier as in the past? We had 25% that said yes and 75% that said no. Again, thank you everybody for showing up. Hey, while I got this run right quick, hey, big shout out to everybody who did the super chat, super stickers, and big shout out to the Shark Tank. What I need from you guys right now is to show a bit of little love Tell me how much you like the show. Show me how much you love these Bulldogs. And give me them thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Muscles, muscles, muscles. Now, give me some damn roses. Roses.
My people.
We need them damn roses.
Fill it up.
All right,
Let's
show
fill
me
it
the
up,
love.
fellas.
Show the
Let's
love.
Fill it up. Fill it
Show
up.
the love, show
We
the
need-
love for them Bulldogs, baby. We ain't alone, you ain't alone, we love them Bulldog, baby. Thank you. Thank you. Keep showing the love, baby.
I believe it be you know what I always said, you know, Backstreet always gonna put their 2 cents in. That's why, you know, we ain't got 100 and some people in the damn room. So, you know, them views, you know, I think it'd be them Backstreet Boys, they'd be sliding through there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Showing that love.
They'll be showing that love. They'll be creeping back there because they got a lot to say. Believe me, they come upstairs, man. They like the vampires, you know. They don't come out until at night, but they come out, they got something to say.
And I hear them.
Yes, we do hear them. And we be trying to relay it back to y'all what they're telling us.
Don't fake the bump. You don't have to. Just stay in your lane. That's where we at. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Like we say, progress will show itself. You don't have to talk about it. It will show itself. True reality of it. But you can't tell me that the dog itself gonna change because we still talk about the American Pit Bull Terrier.
Dog change. Dog.
The dog ain't gonna change, man. That's all I'm saying. So appreciate everybody for showing up, showing out. Again, you know, tonight's show was not meant to disrespect nobody. It's just to bring the reality back to a conversation that's really needed to be fed simply because
Some of y'all getting out of hand with it. It's getting out of
you,
hand.
you can't get away from what the reality of this thing is. You can't just say fuck the OG, but yet still pull up the damn pedigrees and still be hollering about the same damn dogs. Because without them dogs, you wouldn't have nothing to talk
That's
about.
right. You can take the dog you feeding right now and be like, I don't care what's in this dog pedigree. This is my dog. I'm making this shit work.
Okay.
That, you know, it sounds good though, don't it? It really do sound good. So when that shit start quitting in the real world, now you can keep on keeping it safe, can you? You can keep it safe
Because you'll never know.
because you'll never know.
That's
so
the
you're
thing.
living a lie.
You're living a lie. You know.
You gonna make that shit, but you ain't gonna make that shit over here.
Nah, it ain't gonna work.
You ain't
over
gonna
here.
touch that shit over here.
Uh-uh.
You're gonna be diving in the background, making sure that shit is right before you get over here.
Just get in that fake lane.
Yeah, you get in that,
You know
fake
that
lane.
lane,
That
you-
shit.
when you
Yeah, you
moving
make
slow-
that shit, but it ain't gonna be shit.
Y'all know how that
coming
shit is.
over here.
When you know, fast lane to the left,
That
slow lane to the right. Come over here over to the right. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is all about. It ain't gonna be never about fuck the OG. Ain't nothing about fuck nothing back there. Because that's what you're living off of. That's what you're gonna sell them dogs off of.
Ain't be about selling shit off of what you didn't do. 'cause
Ain't
you
gonna
ain't
be
done shit.
nothing that you selling off based on what you did because you ain't done shit.
Look good at good gas.
But we ain't gone yet. We're gonna remind you
We're gonna keep on
and
reminding.
keep on reminding you.
Backstreet, get them goddamn night visions. You start.
Don't
going
worry
out there,
about it, man. We got it.
Amazon pulling up, dropping off some night vision. Where did these come from? Somebody giving you a gift. Somebody say you talking too damn much.
You ain't
They
got
ain't
shit.
finding you. You want to make sure you ain't got no reason why they
Wanna
can't find you.
you.
So they gonna drop you off some goddamn vision to make damn sure you real. If you don't put them motherfuckers on and go find out, goddamn it, guess what? We gonna talk about it.
See, that's what talking to get you though. But it's okay. It's okay, but you will be caught on blast. You will be put on blast.
That's right. People gonna pick on you.
I ain't gonna keep arguing with you about that bullshit either. You talk that shit, But they ain't gonna keep arguing about that shit. That shit ain't shit until it has something to stand on. Stop talking.
Like you
And go run up a fucking wall somewhere.
Right.
Or jump on a damn trail.
At least win a couple of those.
Right, or go
start acting
get in
like
a confirmation show. Do something other than run your
damn
motherfucking mouth. That's all I'm on. Till Tuesday, y'all. I know this was Hot Mike Friday. That bitch is over here on fire. But look, Tuesday, Talk Shit Tuesday. Until then, everybody stay safe. Take care of the dogs. Don't forget them cameras. Big shout out to my man Buck City. Seen the show with the cameras, man. You know, I've been telling them this for years, ever since we've been on here, man. Day one, get the cameras. I'm telling you, man, camera gonna save your ass. But big shout out to all my boys out there, just doing them podcasts, to all the newcomers. You know, again, like I said, stay in your lane. Anything other than that, shouldn't be nothing to talk about. Until Tuesday, y'all stay safe, stay loyal, and always, we mean always, scratch the win. That's right, baby.
Like that, you know what's up. Love you, baby. Stay safe. Be real.